good evening, and I can see that 14 people have logged in, so that's an encouragement. And I can see Murthy, a familiar face.
Yes, sir.
Your enthusiasm hasn't been lost, even though you have been selected and already taken the appointment. I think that's really nice to see. And
Thank you.
first of
Nice
all,
to
I
see.
say many congratulations to all of you. And I can see Perus as well. I think you are from the management faculty, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So I think, yes. So
Yes,
those,
sir.
one thing I can see that whoever joined, I can clearly remember both of you. And I think I may remember some of the others as well. But anyway, I think your grit and determination has paid off. And I can see that for those who have stayed, I know that, I only did like few lectures, but for those that I did, I can recall that one day we went past 12 o'clock and some of you were there. And I think now, even after getting the appointment, now you might think that you have won everything, but that should not be the attitude. And the attitude is to learn every day. And I think that is the best way to go, right? That is the best way to go. And so, first is the congratulations. And there have been some changes also, I think, after maybe you have written the examination. UGC brought in some amendments to the act as well, so we can go with that, right? And yes, and how has the work been now? I think everyone in here has taken, right, the position. And just to know, can all of you tell me where you have got the appointment? Mr. Murthy, now you have got the appointment in Peradini itself or somewhere else? Yes? What about you? Fauzana, where did you get it?
I got it at Open University of Sri Lanka, sir.
Right. So then nothing much, nothing much.
Yeah, but
change.
it is a little bit different from conventional universities.
Yes, that's
but
true.
It's okay to learn something different from so far what I did.
That's correct.
Open University Engineering Technology faculty, sir. I was
Engineering and Technology faculty. Very good. Right. What about the others? We have, I don't know who is, we have AA. That's like, if you can tell me like where you have got the appointment.
I have been selected to the University of Runa, sir, but I have taken the extension.
So that means simply that you are going to stay in Peradini somehow. Okay. Then what about Hiruni? Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, Hiruni. Yes.
So I'm Hiruni Disanayaka. I'm attached to Faculty of Management Studies at Open University, Navala.
Right. And a colleague of yours who is here as well. Then what about Malsha? Malsha Kalinga, yes?
Masha. So I'm attached to the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences of the Open University of Sri Lanka.
Right. So many are from the Open University. Then Inshat?
Sir, I'm attached to the AIA to the Southeastern University of Sri Lanka.
Right. Then what about Jayati, sir?
I'm appointed to Sabaragama University, Sri Lanka, but I got a 1 month extension because I am in the private sector, sir.
Right. Okay, good. Then what about SG? I don't know who is SG, but that is what I can see under the name.
So I'm Sanu Ray. I'm from
Yes,
Open Finance Division.
Right. And then we have Shamini.
So I'm from Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, attached to the Faculty of Technology.
Right. Then Kiryalini, right?
I said Rajarata University, working in student registration.
Right. Okay. So just to start off with now, some of you are, or some of you may be assistant registrars, and some of you may be assistant bursars, right? A, B, and AR. That's basically what we have, right? Then you will have to work with documents. It can be the Universities Act, it can be a circular, it can be a letter sent to you, or it can even be oral instructions that has been given to you. So whatever that may be, now you are in a position where you will have to take decisions. And when you are going to take decisions, right, taking decisions require you to give due consideration to every aspect of your decision. The reason being, now when you are taking the decision, if you are going to take the wrong decision, that is going to be a problem, right? So there are 4 ways in which you can do something, right? There are 4 ways in which you can do something. I know that you might have heard it before, but I'll tell you again. You can do the wrong thing the wrong way. You can do the wrong thing and you can do it the wrong way. You can do the right thing, but in the wrong. You can do the wrong thing, but in the right way. So, out of those 3, which is the correct one? Doing the right thing the wrong way, doing the wrong thing the right way, or doing the wrong thing the wrong way? What is the most appropriate out of the 3? Yes?
Doing the wrong thing in right way, sir.
You think that is appropriate? Okay, I mean, I given you 3, but remember, all the 3 are not correct, right? All the 3 are not correct. You shouldn't do the wrong thing the wrong way, the right thing the wrong way, the wrong thing the right way, right? You should only do the right thing the right way. Otherwise, you are always going to be questioned. Because sometimes you might think if you are doing the right thing, even if it is not in the correct way, that you may be protected. But that is wrong. If you do the right thing in the wrong way, still you are going to end up in a situation where you are going to be answerable. Right? You are going to be answerable. Right? So always remember, when you are doing the assigned duties, whether you are doing the right thing the right way. Because if you are not doing the right thing the right way, then there's always going to be an issue. There's always going to be problems. Right? So you have to keep that in mind. Right. So with regard to this Universities Act, right now there are 2 amendments that are actually not available in the university website. Now there are actually now 3 amendments. So you should be aware of that. Now the best way to look at the act is by going to the university website, right? Because I cannot find any act where all the amendments have been consolidated. All the amendments have been consolidated. I cannot see such an act. So let me share the screen. Right, you can see it. You can see it, right? Right. So this is where you can go to, right? But always remember that this only covers up to there are 2009. So after 2009, there are few amendments that came about, especially 2016, and another one very recently that was brought about, right? So when you think about the Universities Act, now you can see from here, they have listed out the amendments also. And I hope that they have included the latest one. No, yes, they have included the 2016 and the 2026 one. And 2026 one is something that you need to be quite familiar with. Right? So I'll just tell you now, when you look at this kind of a document, how do you read an act of parliament? Oh, with regard to anything, how do you read it? Because it can be subject to interpretation. But only thing, always remember that you yourself should not try to interpret. If there is a clarification needed, and if you are in doubt, the best thing to do would be to get a clarification from the authorized person. Now, if you are an AR, who would be the person most suitable to get this clarification from? If you are an assistant registrar, who would be the most suitable, right, individual to get the clarification from?
SARO Deputy Registrar.
Yes. But the best thing is, even when you go to that position, right, it is always best that you go to the highest authority. And not that it shows that you are incompetent, no. But when there is a doubt, a decision has to be taken where you would not have to face any repercussions. I am not asking you to not to be active or to be proactive. But there could be issues that when we do the thing, it may seem trivial. You may not think much of it. But once an issue arises, that is where you have to be very careful. All right. So the best thing, I think, anyway, not for each and every matter, as you said, you can go on the hierarchy. But again, even if they instruct, now remember this, you will not be given an excuse for following a instruction given by a superior if that instruction itself was not correct. What the point? Now, this is clearly recognized under criminal law. We say superior authority. So previously, anyone who did something could simply say, I did it because my superior said so. But that cannot work any longer. Even if the superior had said something which is wrong, it is not correct in law, then you can't do that. That's why I wanted to emphasize that you should do the correct thing in the correct way. I know it's difficult because when you go and work, that is not going to be easy, right? That is not going to be easy. There are many things that you will have to handle. And there are certain things that you can only gain with experience. Right? It is not going to come overnight, right? And like all of a sudden you can say, okay, now I have mastered this. No, that is not going to happen. But you will have to learn on the job. But then how can you do that? That's the most important thing. Now, since you are working within a university, you should have an idea about what are the main bodies of the university, what are their functions, and how it consists of, right? Because now from a department or a unit to the council, you should know what are the responsibilities, what are the duties, what is the composition. And now you should have those information in your place. You should know who are the council members. You should know who will be going to the Senate. You should know who is the dean, the head of each department of the faculty that you are attached to. Because you will be attached to either the general admin or a unit or a faculty, right? Then you should know who are the individuals that are responsible or that are in either the faculty, the unit, right, as the case may be. So always have the University Act with you, right? If you can now, there are certain things that you can initiate, right? Now, this Universities Act has up to 2009, everything included. You can have a consolidated one. Just need to go and include the 2016 amendment and the 2026 amendment. That would be helpful. Otherwise, I mean, if you go for the original legislation, now, for an example, if you went with this, it's only having up to 1995. So after everything, you have to, if there's any change, then you have to have that, and that might have also changed. So therefore, it's always better that you have a consolidated version of this legislation, right? Then you can see here that the act is nicely organized, right? First of all, it says about the UGC, that unless you are in the UGC, having a general knowledge might be sufficient. Powers, duties, functions of the UGC again. But here you need to be very thorough. From parts 4, 5, 6, 7, those are very important. I am not saying that the others are not important, but these are very important. So if you look at sections 21 to 27, I think we had a discussion when we did the classes also. We did these particular sections, how these things are established and whether these things are still in existence, right? And some of the new things that have been included, right? So these are basically about, you can see, it's about universities, campuses, and university colleges. So you may just want to have an idea that they are different and that they have different, like they have different names. Basically, structures may be same, somewhat similar, but they have different names, right? Now, Sri Pali campus has a rector, whereas a university has a vice chancellor, right? Maybe a university college, the key personnel there might be named as someone else, right? Could be a director, right? Likewise. So those names, they are also important because they may be given a different title. I think more than this, these parts you have to be very familiar. Powers, duties, and functions of a university. What can a university do? Then the chancellor and the officers of university. So if you look at the powers, you can see that section 28 deals with university order and general powers of a university. Then powers of a university, just see what can a university do, right? These things like very clear when you look at the things that it can do, right? So these kind of things, just according to what you are doing, have it with you, right? Then, right, just a second. Right. Sorry for that. I got a call. Right. So these are the powers, functions of a university, as I was mentioning. So I think better that you may have extract of these, right, and that you have it with you all the time. Right. Now, any questions you have? I don't know whether you have got these things, but any questions that you have come across with regard to certain provisions, maybe how to read it, how to interpret it? Yes. Any questions you have come across? Any issues you have identified? Yes. Nothing. What about Mauzana? Like any difficulties you have encountered so far?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. Now this is very important. Now this part 7 of the UGC Act, it says about authorities of a university. This is a must. So as I said, right, you should know the council members. When the council is got them, those information will be with you, right? But make sure that you have it. Then the Senate, then if there is a campus board or the boards, if any, then the faculty boards, and such other bodies that there may be. And now these things you should know, right? So who counts as an authority of the university? So here it says the council of, it's about the council, right? 44. So who sits there? Some are ex officio, right? So what do you mean by ex officio? What is the meaning of that? Yes, ex officio. What do you mean by that? Yes, what do you mean by ex officio?
Due to the position, they will.
Yes, ex officio refers to that they are appointed due to the position that they hold. So it is not X, Y, Z. Whoever that person may be, that person is going to be there. Now, for an example, if it is the Vice Chancellor, then it is the Vice Chancellor. It doesn't matter whether it is X, Y, or Z, right? But if you look at section 44 and give me an example for someone who is not ex officio. I'll just give you now. It says Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Rector, Dean of a Faculty of Graduate Studies, the Dean of each faculty. 2 members elected by the Senate from among its members. Such number of members as equal to total number of members under paragraph. Yes? An example where the person is not ex officio.
Last 2 points, sir.
Yes, very good. Very good. Yes. 6 and 7, you cannot call them ex officio because they are elected. That's the term. So if you are elected, that says you are not ex officio. If you are ex officio, that is to say for the council you are not elected. Now the Vice Chancellor can be elected, but that is not the thing here. It says to the council whether they are elected or because they hold the position, they go to the council. So from 1 to 5, it is ex officio. Whoever holds that position, they will be there, right? And then it says the chairman of the council shall be the Vice Chancellor and subject to provisions of section 4, any appointed or elected member of the council shall, unless it says for the tenure, right? And it says an appointed elected member of the council may resign and likewise, right? And the other thing also remember, I think, I don't know, that there is some kind of an idea that if the council says it's all okay, can we say that? If something is said by the council, can we conclusively say that is it? Yes, give an answer for that. Now, there is an issue and the council has done something, right? Taken a decision. by virtue of the fact that the council has taken a decision, can we say that that is the end of the issue? Yes, what do you think? Anyone? Yes. Can we say because the decision has been taken by the council, that is the end of the story? That is it. Can we say that? Yes. What do you think? Can
Yes, sir.
we say?
Council is the finding authority.
Yes, but
So the
can we
decision.
simply say because the decision has been taken by the council, that is it? Yes. Can we say that? Remember, that is also not a valid argument. Just because the council has taken a decision does not mean, and it cannot mean, that the decision of the council is correct. Right? There's no authority under the Sri Lankan law by virtue of the decision taken that itself is correct. That is only with the Supreme Court, because once the decision has been given by the Supreme Court, it's final and no one can challenge it elsewhere unless you go for a revisionary application, but that also is at the discretion of the court. So the council may make a decision, but the council decision has to comply with the Universities Act, the Constitution, and the other other relevant laws as the case may be. So always remember, that's why many of the decisions that has been taken by the council has been challenged in court. And as the court accepted that once the council has taken its decision that it shall be final, no. There are certain things where the courts will not intervene. But when there is a violation of the laws, especially the fundamental rights chapter, right? Now you should all know that under our constitution, there is a fundamental rights chapter. And according to that chapter, the rights being contained from Article 10 to Article 14A, then Article 15 limitations, Article 16 non-application, Article 17 is the remedy, Article 26 is about the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Now you are subjected to that. Why? The actions or the omissions of the University Grants Commission will come under the term administrative or executive action, by which fundamental rights may be breached. Right? And there are other avenues also available. Especially now there's a tendency among people to go to the Human Rights Commission. Or they may write to the Ombudsman, or they may even write to the Parliament. So therefore, we have to be very careful with taking decisions, and we cannot have any stand to cover. We can't say because the council has taken this decision, it is valid. No. The decisions of the council will only be valid if they are in accordance with the law. Right? And you have to remember that the golden rule, what you are going to do, you should do the correct thing in the correct way. Right? And then the duties and functions of the council, you can see it is listed out. There are so many things that are coming within the purview of the council. Right? Then below the council, we have Senate. Below the council, we have the Senate. And the Senate, you can see, again, up to, every permanent professor of the university. Again, now, if you say every permanent professor of the university, is it ex officio or not? Yes, what do you think? In the sense, like, yes, because just by being a permanent professor, you are in it, the librarian say. But those coming under J, two teachers other than those referred in proceedings paragraph of this subsection elected by the permanent teachers of each faculty from among their number. So that is not ex officio. Why? Because not every teacher in a faculty will be selected. If you are going to be selected, then it's not going to be what? Ex officio. Now also remember, now what is the quorum? Now the quorum in the Senate shall be 1/4, right? And what is the quorum of the council? Yes. What is the quorum of the council?
1/3. No?
Sure. Yes, it's 1/3 here. The quorum of the meeting of the council shall be 1/3 of its total membership. I think, yes, you remember that very good. Then you can, note down, jot down, have it with you. That's the way to go, right? Then again, the Senate also has the powers and the functions. Then we have a campus board, right? Then faculty board, again, faculty board, you can see what is the composition. And also remember now these, anything coming under these are considered as what? Statutory meetings. So if you are a secretary to this meeting, you should also be very careful about, maintaining the attendance records. That's very important. Why it is important? Because these are considered as statutory meetings, and anyone who is not present should have, if they are to be marked as excused, then they should have provided you with an excuse. Otherwise, they'll be marked as absent, and that is going to reflect when they are going to seek for promotions, because it's a duty of each and every one to attend these meetings, right? Then the changes came about, right? Then the changes came about with this amendment, and one of the more, I think, crucial, I don't know whether it is crucial or fundamental, but again, nonetheless, a serious change was brought to the election of the dean and the heads of the department. Can someone explain to me what were these changes that were brought? Yes. What were the changes that were brought? Yes. We did not check. Murthy, what were the changes that were brought to the election of the dean and the head of the department?
Excuse me, sir. Would you please dive in the end of the meeting also? It does matter.
Okay, sure thing. Then, okay.
Hello,
Yes,
sir. Hello.
Yes. Fauzina, yes.
Yeah, already the nominee should be the present head of the department, but according to the changes, it's not necessary.
Okay, that is for the dean, right?
Yes,
for the position of the dean.
Yeah.
Before the amendment, it could only be an sitting head of the department, right? Or you are the current dean. If you if you are the current dean, you can, because there were no limits as to the number of occasions on which you could hold the position of the dean. The same was true for the head. And the limited the limitation with regard to the number of times a person could hold office was only regarding the vice chancellor, where the vice chancellor could not go beyond 2 terms. Apart from that, everyone else, there was no limit. So basically, then they could have stayed till they retired, right? But now, with the changes that have been brought, if you look at the position of the dean is there for a maximum period of 2 terms, but the dean, before it was only the head of the department, so the sitting dean who could contest for the deanship. But now it has changed. Now anyone holding the position of senior lecturer grade 1 and above is eligible to contest for the deanship. Contest, right? That's important. Here, there is no automatic appointment. You have to contest. If there's no one else to contest, that's okay, but you can't be handpicked. Right? But a different approach is taken with regard to the head of the department, because before this amendment, the head of the department was actually by mutual agreement, and then it was the vice chancellor who appointed. But now there is an order to be followed. The order is the seniority. Right? It doesn't say who seniority, but it says on in the provision that you should go according to the position. If there's a senior professor and that senior professor has not been a previous head of the department, then she gets the preference. Likewise, you go down to actually the head of the department can be anyone, right? Like it can be anyone in the sense that if everyone declines, then any person holding the position of senior lecturer grade 2 can become the head of the state. Sorry, head of the department. But it has to go accordingly, right? It has to go down according to their seniority. Right? According to their seniority. Right? So it is again something that you may also face when you are working as AR in a faculty, right? If there's no SR, like if you have to handle it, you have to keep that in mind. The dean is elected, whereas the head of the department is appointed. What is the difference between appointed and elected? If it is elected, it is by the will of the people, but if it is appointed, then it's not by the will of the people. It when it comes to the head of the department, it is actually by the seniority order. So that's a major change that has taken place. Right. Okay, any question, any clarification, maybe things that you would like to ask? Yes? Nothing.
The seniority means they will not, the senior person will not accept, willing to do with order like that.
Then you have to go down, yes. Then if they are not willing, then you can go down. But that also has to be taken in writing. You can't just simply go and report that he did not or he did not wish to undertake. That you should take a written undertaking from that person who is eligible that he was not willing to serve as the head of the department. That has to be made sure, right? Otherwise, there's going to be an issue, because later on someone might say, no, I was willing, but they did not allow me to. Therefore, you have to get the written, right? Written consent, written agreement that either whether that person is going to undertake or not undertake. Whatever that case may be, it has to be in writing, so that you are on the safe side. Because later on, if it is unwritten, verbally something might have been said, then later on if that person says, no, that is not what I said, then very difficult to disprove or to prove otherwise. Because if you claim that someone else has said it verbally, it is up for you to prove that he said it. right? And there's no responsibility for him or on him to prove that he did not say it. It's for the person claiming, alleging that he said that that person is the one who has to prove as well. That is also important, remember. Now, verbal, it's spontaneous, it's quick, sometimes get things done. But when you have something written, in the future, if you want to prove something or to disprove something, that might be valuable. So that I think we can't use a strict ruler, but we have to identify the situation. If the situation demands, there's no harm in being, taking adequate steps to be protected. Remember, if something happens, it will be all on you. Right? No one else is going to be there. You will have to take the brunt and you will have to face the music. So, have to be careful. While we are being flexible, while we are being, active, we also have to realize that there is a law that is to govern. So we should adhere with that. Right. And please ask any other questions, then I can also learn. And then you can maybe get a clarification, then we both may get clarification. Yes. Any other thing you like to ask?
Sir, I have a question that sometimes there are some procedures that they are not in accordance with the bylaw or act. That is the process of that university. So
then what should you do?
I'm in examination department.
There you will see many issues, right?
Yes.
And that is one of the major issues that we have identified, that there are variants in the sense not within the university system, like not only limited to, let's say, like what we do in Colombo might not be something that is being done in Peradina. So that's variance between the universities. But even with regard to faculties, there is a variance. Even with regard to departments, there is variance. Even with regard to departments running different courses, there is variance. Would you agree to that, Niluka?
Yes, sir. Agree.
That's the thing. So then what is the best thing to do? The best thing to do is to see what is the correct thing and what is the correct way to do. This is very important question you have raised. Now, I get energy to speak about it, because what happens in a university, when a procedure is followed and it has been followed for some time, and if no issues have arisen, that will be followed even though that may not be what is expected to be done. Why you are following it? Simply because it has been done previously. I know, like in any time we would ask, okay, can I have the previous memo, the previous year budget, previous year that thing, this thing? Because we also go on the safe side. This has been done previously, okay, I will be safe. Whether it is correct or wrong, that's not going to ask. But in examination matters, I think it's very important that you do the correct thing, the correct. Because now there is even a Court of Appeal judgment that says a student can even make a request to see his own answer script. And there are a few things which are very sacred in this academic or in university life. One is examination and the other is the finance. Because if something happens with the examination, if there is an issue, then the entire system may collapse, because we run on credibility. Now, what sets apart a government university from another university is that there is a belief in the people that things are done properly within a government university, that there would not be any favoritism, and that it's like you can't basically buy a degree, that you have to earn a degree. That's why we say he earned his bachelor's, he earned his master's. We don't say that he paid for his master's, even though we do pay for it, right? So then, Ms. Niluka, what should be done is that you should stick to the procedure, right? I know that there will be initial resistance, but always look at the future. If an issue comes, If you have not followed the procedure, that is the first thing that they are going to identify, and that is the first thing that they are going to question. If there was an issue with the system that has, issue with the provision, then you can say, this is what the provisions had provided for, right? You can at least show that you have adhered to that. But when you have done something different from what the procedure requires you to do, then if something happens, it will be on you. And no one will say that, okay, this is what we have done for the past few years. And that is not an excuse. So the best thing is to, reduce the variance. If possible, to get rid of the variance. Like, you can't have different standards in different ways. And the other thing also, there are certain things that be done in the university where you don't actually have the full authorization. For an example, a bylaw may have been sent to the legislative committee, which has sent to the council, but the council minute, the approved minutes are not there. But still you have advertised and you have carried out the program, and now you want to release the results. If you do release the result, now there can be an issue, because if you have enrolled students and if you are not going to release their results, that might be a problem. But anyway, if you have not done it with the authority, now you have not got the council approved bylaw. So if you are going to do it without you, even though you do it in good faith, that wanting the students to get the certificate, that may backfire on you. Because the first question they are going to ask, where is the authorization? Right? So always remember, whenever you do something, there should have been authorization. And that authorization also at least on par with what the requirements are. Then you see whether that can be carried out or not. Otherwise, to have blindly followed something that existed before, you are going to get into trouble. Because just because it has not been trouble up until then, you never know, you might be the lucky person to have won lottery, and when you are going to do it, that may become problematic, right? Any other questions, Niluk? Any specific questions you'd like to ask? Yes.
Say that as new fresh recruits, can we doubt our super seniors? I think that if we have to sustain there, we have to respect them and go on. So
yeah, you have to respect, but you also have to follow proper procedure. You can respect and you can ask that if there is a serious issue, with all due respect, you have to say that this has been done like this, but there could be an issue. It could very well be that their minds have not, been focused on the issue, and it is possible that up until then no issue has arisen, even though that they have gone in a manner that is not kind of mentioned in maybe the Universities Act or the bylaw, right? Whatever the legal document that may be. But I can see your point now. That should be a management issue, right? I thought that has to be done. Yes, you can't go and teach them like, well, this is wrong, but you should always have conversation. But the most important thing, and we see this in many of the inquiries that are being taken, that if you do really do dissent, you should mean it that. I'm not asking that you should disagree every time. Like, most of the time things will work, and up until now, if nothing has happened, that also means that even though that you have done it in a slightly different way, but that has not really violated the basics of the law. But we never know. That's true. You can't be on your own and work. You have to give the respect and you have to learn how to work. But when there are certain things which are blatantly wrong, that you see it, that you understand it, then you should definitely try to fix it. Right? I know that. And they may think, okay, now you are the new recruits, why are you trying to teach us? No, that should not be. So if you are going to take responsibility, The responsibility, I think, is as equal or more important than having kind of the bond that you are mentioning about. If that is something different, because something happens, then you will be left on your own. So if you if you have already identified that by doing this something may go wrong, that says that what has been followed is little bit questionable. So if you have a doubt, you can just go and ask, like, okay, if you follow this procedure, this kind of a thing could happen. So what do you think? Then they may say, like, okay, but that has never happened. No, that is unlikely to happen. Likewise, they may give an explanation. Then you can again further decide whether that explanation kind of explains that as to what has really happened, or what can really happen. Right? But remember, when something does happen, it will be on you. You will be the one to answer. Right? I know there can be issues with how the marking is to be done, whether it is first marking, second marking, or whether it's a random marking, whether the mark should be entered in the page or in the answer script, and how it is to be marked. Likewise, there could be issues. Right? But just because that they have been taking, or they have been following a particular way, don't always be a slave to that. Think independently. That you will not find everything that is being done going to have an issue, but there can be certain things that may result in issues. And the other thing is also to keep the consistency. Right? After I say this in very natural language, that when you do something odd, at least be consistent with that. If you're going to be inconsistent with what you're going to do, what is wrong, that you're like what you are not properly done, then that's going to be very difficult, right? So even if there's something which is, let's say not totally wrong, but which may be questionable, but if that has been followed consistently, at least that kind of brings some kind of, I can't say protection, but at least you can say that this is not an isolated incident. Everyone has done it. But the issue comes in a university, that within a university we see so much of divergence, and not only that, within a faculty we also see that is the issue. So then there can be too much of divergence. Then it's very difficult to have a general framework, general overview. But that should be something that you should try to develop. And I know that Open University, I think it caters for most number of students as a government university. I think much more than what we do, because I think it's open for many programs, many courses, and there are, there are kind of what you call centers, different centers available. So you have to work with a large number of student population. But be really careful with that, and to make things complicated also. Now most of you would have been Niluka, were you before also from the Open University, or now only in Open University?
No, sir, I'm not from the Open University. I pointed to ITUM, Institute of Technology, University of Moratuwa.
Right. So okay, yeah. So then again, there can also be a little bit of a divergence, because since it's an institute, right? And if it had been Open University, again there could have been something else. I was of the mistaken opinion that you were from Open University. But again, now before, where did you work, Niluka?
From Kelaniya University, sir.
And you were not attached to an institute, right?
No.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So institute is like a mini university, right? It does so many things. Now, for an example, the salaries and the finances for the most part are handled by the institute. Likewise, now the examination matters of the institute will come to you. But sometimes for certain things you will not have the final authority. The final authority will be with the main the main university body, right? So there also you have to be careful, right? Any specific question as such, Niluka, if you like to ask, whether this is correct or not, kind of a question you have?
No, sir.
Yeah. Right. And also, Mr. Herath, I don't know whether whether it's possible, but I think a general discussion on the basics of the law would also be quite useful for you, anyone for that matter, right? Because knowing certain things will help you to think better, right? I think everyone should know, because in most of the cases that also come, you will be representing the university, right? So that is also something that you have to think about. Right. And the other thing, this is not directly related, is about your own career progression and about your own postgraduate studies, right? Because some of you I know have already done your postgraduate study, but again, if you want to go further, there's nothing to prevent you. But I think when you're doing this work and when you're thinking about your career progression, thinking and starting your postgraduate is important, right? Now, just to know how many of you have done your postgraduate, I know for a fact that Faustina, you have done it, right? You have already done your postgraduate. What about Shamini? You have done it?
Yes, sir.
So you have also done it. What about AA? Who is that? I don't know. That is how it appears in the screen. Huh? Then what about Miss Niluka? What about you? Already finished?
I have done a 1-year master's in counseling, sir, but I think it's not related.
No, you can't say it's not directly related, but sometimes they may ask to do something kind of related to management. Now, they can't discredit you, but when you're asking for the promotion, they might ask something in relation to the job description as well. So then you have to think about that. So I think when you go to your next promotions and all, that would also have an impact. Right? What about Hiruni? Yes. Okay, Hiruni is not here. What about Malsha? Yes. What
Yes,
about your
sir.
situation?
I have completed my MBA recently from the Faculty of Business, University of Moratuwa.
Right. Then what about Inshaat?
Still not start
Already done.
MBA, sir.
You're going to start the MBA. Very good. That's excellent. And then what about Jayatish?
No, that is that, sir.
Yeah, but you can think. So I think
Yes.
generally a management degree would be something would be quite useful, like for everyday life and even mostly for your work, likewise, right? Then what about Kriyalini? You have done or you have? Yes.
Sir, I start a program.
You have started, right? I think that's a little, but anyway, I think that's also something significant that we can see that when you're already coming to this position, also you have completed your educational qualification. That could have been a major reason why in the interview that you would have been selected as well, right? So that you have not only completed your bachelor's, but also you have completed your postgraduate studies, right? So I think that is kind of an advantage. And don't think that you have learned everything, but keep exploring, because learning is a lifelong thing, right? So think about it. And I think when you're going to go to the next step, that is senior assistant registrar and senior assistant bursar, I think you're also getting a research allowance, right? So for that, also think about that, how you may develop, how you may collaborate, right? Because certain things, certain issues, you can maybe identify better than sometimes the people who teach it, because sometimes they might not have the practical kind of idea as to how certain things are done, right? And most importantly, this is kind of a request that when you discharge your duties, I think we should always think that whoever comes to obtain our services should not be disappointed. So now I have experienced that myself personally, that when you go to some of the places that they say that the person who is responsible is not there, so that sometimes nothing can be done. But that should change, right? If that person is not there, there should be someone, at least one person who should know what that person is doing and try to support in one of the absence, right? The other person can go and support, right? That's just a request that I can make, because sometimes I have personally felt frustrated when they just give an answer like, okay, the person doing that is not here today, right? Yes. So now actually right? I hope that you know that you have a great responsibility, and that when you are going to do something, when you are going to take action, that you should be mindful about the framework under which you have to work. So the main thing is the university that can see what are the provisions that are listed out, and especially now since the 2026 amendment has come, because that will be directly where that is directly something that you may work on or you may have to work on, right? Okay, any questions, clarifications, like anything you like to ask, like things to work out? Yes, anything like that? Anything as such? And I'm really impressed by the language competency, the way you have answered, and it can be seen that the competition has brought the best of the best, and it is also something testament to what you have done, to have come, to have fought it out, to have stayed, and not to have given up, right? So I can recall that there were some 800 odd candidates, I think, with the internal, external, maybe both. But out of those, that I can at least see maybe 8, 7, likewise, again staying till this time. Now I think many people would just give up now. They might think, okay, now it's done. Why should we go and listen to? But no, that should not be the way. I mean, if you are having a lecture, I would much be I would be much interested to come and listen, because certain things you have to learn from one another. So you have come to that stage where you have to learn things from one another, right? So any other questions, clarifications?
Yes, sir. Is it possible, sir?
Yes, please ask.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
You are audible. You are very much audible.
Yes, thank you, sir. The one humble request, the thing is, sir knows well, the legal.
Yes. You dropped out, Murthy, I guess. Can't hear you. I mean,
dispute also, because
sorry, Mr. Murthy, I think my internet connection was distorted, so I could not hear. Can you repeat?
Yeah, the thing is, sir knows well, legally, not only the University Act, frequently our executive staff members have faced the problems or conflict, while after giving the the explanation, calling for the explanation of some staff members, even not the certain category, all categories, even they make the appeal. We need our executive, especially our executive staff members, need the advice, not only the advice. Sometime we need the mentors also. Frequently, as the executive union.
Yes, I think now you should have like a common WhatsApp group, like a pool, where
yes, sir,
you can post questions to one another, because then one another can help one another, right? I think that will
Yes,
be
sir.
the best way to go. Now, what you have done is truly amazing, with such dedication and all. And I think I'm one of the few privileged persons because I can say that I am included in a group, very exclusive group. If not
Yes, sir.
for the few years I did, I would never had the opportunity to have come. So I think you can't. I mean, the thing is like if you have that group and
Yes,
if
sir.
you are going to communicate within that group, so I think a lot of things like new things will come out. They will come up.
Exactly.
You might not have the answer straight away, but when you talk with one another, when you try to share it with one another, then the people might come up because people will get different kind of experiences. Now I have seen that, I've experienced that. Now there are certain groups like basically like these are like passed out batchmates,
Yes.
right, from the
Yes, sir.
faculty, where they post whether a person is available, whether how to do this, whether you have a draft. Likewise, if you can have a repository, right, it might even be a letter that is properly written, right? It might be some kind of a inquiry, that has been properly conducted. Likewise, whatever the thing that should be there. And some of you could also, right, I would be more than willing just to have like few, maybe 1 or 2 sessions just to go through the basics of the law, like that quite kind of directly applicable here in general. And there might very well be, right, people with vast experiences, right, in this kind of administration, right? They can always help. And some of the members who have been selected, they might have even done law. That's also a possibility. But I mean, we'll also be there, right? If there is an issue, right?
Thank
Then
you.
just to see
Thank you, sir.
whether are properly done or not. Likewise, just to give an idea, just to give a clarification, if the case
Definitely.
needs such, as the case may be. So I think that should
Yes, sir.
continue. That should not end now, even after this lecture series. That we should not stop. We should go for like webinar series, awareness sessions. Likewise, so that the
Yes, sir.
momentum that you have created should not whittle down. That's the only thing that I can say. And for any kind of a matter, I mean, I might not be able to answer it at the very moment you are going to put the question because I might also be little busy. But anyway, but I can get back to that. And there are, I mean, all the other resource persons also here. They would do the same.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And
Yes.
thank you very much for everything. Is there any question to ask? I was unable to attend for a few minutes because I'm the host of the certain meeting, and I chair the
Yes.
meeting. That's why. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It's a really valuable session. At this time, I would like to thank you on behalf of all participants. I wish to express our sincere and heartfelt gratitude to our Akalanga sir as a resource person for the comprehensive, insightful and this presentation on the University Act. Your clear exposition of its provisions, principles, and the practical, especially practical implications, has greatly enhanced our understanding of this important legal framework governing the university system. Really, your knowledge, especially your knowledge, coupled with your ability and explain complex matters with clarity and relevance. Thanks, sir. Thanks again. This session made both enlightening and engaging. Thanks, sir. We also deeply appreciate our comrade Rohit Thilakarathna as usual, and your time and effort, expertise, you are generously shared with us today. Thanks, sir. Thanks again. Your valuable contribution has undoubtedly enriched our knowledge and will serve as a useful guide in our professional responsibility. Thanks again, sir. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you so much.
for the participation.
And,
Also. Thank you, sir.
and I would like to say many congratulations once again and keep progressing in your career. So you have started, you have shown that you can do it. Now it's for you to do the best that you can do. So hopefully we will be able to meet again. And until that time, wishing you all the very best in your new positions and good night, everyone. Right? Thank you.